Welcome to Panfish Nation. My name is Mark with co-host Mark and host Lyle Stokes. And our guest today, David Lemen. What's going on, David?
Oh,
how you
same
doing,
as
man?
always.
Same as always.
Tying.
That's good. Well, you seem pretty, I think this is after hours for you because you're usually up early on Friday mornings. I know that for a fact.
I'm up early every day. I get up at like 4:35 in the morning, and I'm usually in bed by, another hour or so. I'll be like sitting here
dozing off. I understand. I'm just the opposite, and fishing the last couple times all night long has really even messed me up even worse. Holy smokes, It's been rough getting acquainted, but pleasure boat season is over, so I might be able to go out a little earlier and get in a little earlier, so I'm looking forward to that 100%. How you feeling, Lyle?
A little better. I'm guessing that there'll still be some pleasure boaters out as long as we keep having this 80-degree weather.
Yeah, weather's been pretty nice. It's been in the 70s here. Tomorrow it's going to get up around 80 or something. I'm taking a look at the weather right now for the next 10 days, so we'll see. I was going to go fishing yesterday or today, but my boat got kind of trapped in the garage, so I wasn't able to do that as having my driveway sealed and stuff. So I should have went bait fishing today, but I got wrapped up with some work stuff, and you know how it goes. It got kind of busy, so maybe we'll do that tomorrow. If I do that, we'll go live. So hopefully, if I got a signal, the one spot I've been going bait fishing at, the signal's been kind of sketchy too. And I've been trying to stream in horizontal mode through the YouTube app, and it won't let me for some reason. So I guess I'd have to set it up on StreamYard. But when I'm bait fishing, I usually kind of do that on the fly. So that's me just not being prepared. Go figure, huh? I'm going to say hello to everybody in chat here. What's going on, everybody? Let's see. We got Bugman22. What's up, Buggy? How you doing, sir? Burrito, Catfish Lady in the house. Fishing with Jeff Beal. He was live on Sunday night, I believe. I missed that one. I'm sorry about that, Jeff. I meant to stop in there. I did catch it after the fact. There's Crappie Day. Dustin, what's going on? He's a channel member. Thank you for supporting the channel. And if you want to do so, I did post a link down in the description so you could click on that and sign right up, whether you're on your Apple or Android phone, iPad, computer. I don't know if you can do that on the TV. Maybe you can. Let us know if you can. Greg Burgess in the house. Joshua, what's going on, Joshua? Purim, what's going on, Joshua? Lance McCougai, how you doing, Lance? Hopefully you got out there and did a little salmon fishing. Mike Irvin in the house. What's up, my friend? Oak Slope Outdoors. That's a new one to me. Thanks for joining in. We appreciate you. Nubby's Catfishing. Just seen his name pop up. There's our buddy Jerry Parker Pursuits.
All the way from Alaska.
All the way from Alaska. I think he's home now. I'm not quite
sure. Is he?
I think he might be. Jerry, let us know in chat. There's John Parker, real-time catfishing. He put out a short little video today with some important tips for us fishermen.
Oh, pretty cute.
Solid advice. Schmieder of the Cedars. And there's Josh from the Weekend Angler. What's going on, Josh? How you doing, bud? Other than that, we got 28 people in chat, guys. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, we'd appreciate it. 100. Oh, there's Benoit Fishing Outdoors. What's going on, ladies? The boat's looking good. I think that's it. Jerry says he's back home. Oh, good, Jerry. Glad you're home because I was getting jealous of you being out there. But Lyle, I am going deep sea fishing this December.
I know. It's pretty good. I like that.
I'm hoping to. A wife wants to go on vacation every year, and I make sure that we do that since she lets me have the boat and fish all I want. My only speculation is that I get to fish if we go somewhere that's fishable, and we definitely are. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, David, your channel is Double Hook Outdoors, correct?
No, Double Hook Angling.
Double Hook Angling. I apologize. I freeze up by vapor lock sometimes when we're live, especially next to you two great individuals.
There's somebody else here.
I should notice that. I've been seeing your T-shirt on Spencer a bunch of times in the last couple of months. How'd that happen?
Last year he got one. I didn't even know he had it, and we went to Louisville to the Catfish conference, Catfish and Crappie conference, and I seen him across the way, and he turned around, and he had my shirt on, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute." I asked him how he got it, and he wouldn't tell me, but I found out how. So
how did he get it? You can spill it.
Through Morello.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. It's the color
they
that
fish together.
that he's a fan of 100%. So at least he
Yeah,
was.
he told me. I was shocked to see him wear it, and he told me, he's like, "I love this shirt." He's like, "This shirt's so comfortable," and I was like, "I know."
The first time I noticed it on his videos, I had to take a double take, and I was, oh, that's cool as heck. That was pretty neat to see. So.
I think it's awesome. I mean, you know, I wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't think of it. And when I met him, I was kind of at a loss for words. You know, he talked to me for a few minutes. We probably talked 10 minutes while we was there at the conference. And he's a great individual. It just, you know, I'm a little rough around the edges. And, you know, he hit it up with me just fine. You know, we talked for a little bit. We got some pictures together, and it was a great time. It wasn't just him. I mean, it was everybody. It was overwhelming. Here's what the thing is, you know, I had a heart attack. Well, come to find out, they started asking, you know, well, did you feel this, or did you feel this, or did you feel that? Well, the first night we were there at the Catfish conference, I felt really tight in the chest and felt it in my armpit and stuff. And I got a little dizzy. Well, I just thought it was, you know, just too much for the day or whatever. And so I went to bed in the motel, and I guess it's a good thing I woke up the next day. So, but, you know, then a few weeks later or whatever, a month, I don't even know how long it was later, then I had the major heart attack. So I was gone for a little bit, and lucky enough I had a good medical team, and you know, I'm back. And you know, all the last couple of years I've said, you know, tomorrow's never promised, make sure you hug a friend and all that. Well, I didn't mean to prove it. You know, but I tried.
Well,
so,
I'm glad you're doing better 100%. So you think you might have had one while you were at CatCon?
Well, they think I had angina,
okay,
or whatever they call that. But they said it could possibly. They said that there was enough damage in my tissue that this wasn't the first one. So you know, they just, and I've had some where I felt like, you know, something, but you know, just thought it was getting old and indigestion, you know, that kind of stuff. But you know, he's like, the doctor was like, you know, there's indigestion and then there's this, and he's like, a lot of people mistake the two, but you should be able to tell the difference between burning and pain. So he's like, if it feels like pain and not burning like acid reflux does, you know, he's like, just go get checked out. So, and you know, maybe that's something I can say is, you know, if you're thinking you're having some issues, you know, go get checked out.
Yeah, so, take care of yourselves, folks. 100%. Wouldn't you agree, David?
Yeah. I mean, most of them, you can pay it off a little at a time. You know, they'll take what you can give them. So you just got to do what you can do. You know, insurance helps so much, but you know, like, you know, with me, I'm lucky enough I got some insurance, but it's 80%. So I told you how big the bill was.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, we still need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's all good. They'll get what they get, and they'll be happy with it. If not, they can sue me. What are they gonna do? Take my wheelchair from me? I don't know nothing. They can take my boat. Right now it ain't running, so
don't tempt them. They'll take whatever they can get. Well,
I think I got my boat problem fixed though. So
yeah, so tell us about your boat. You picked up a pontoon boat you've been working on, right?
Yeah. Okay. So my buddy bought this pontoon boat back in '99. So, and it's a '98. So it was a year old when he bought it. He's had it all this time, probably last 10 years or so. It hadn't moved. Well, come to find out, it hadn't been on the water since 2008. It moved around the yard, but it hadn't been on the water since 2008. So I asked him, you know, what he'd give for it and stuff, and we made a good deal. I got it for about half of what he originally said. So, but you know, times get rough sometimes. and we're buds. So I just kept telling him, hey man, if I get the boat and I fix the boat and the boat runs, you ain't got to do nothing but get on it. So, I bought the boat from him. I spent probably a month trying to get the stupid motor to run and stuff. Then it finally blew up.
Oh no.
So then I buddy up around the corner. He's like, hey man, if you do some welding on my Jeep and stuff, we'll swap some labor and some money, and I'll give you this bass boat I got. So I bought a 18-foot Skeeter, I think is what it was, or something like that. They had a 90-horse Merc. All I wanted was the Merc and the controls. So I took it and put it on my pontoon boat. Did a little cleaning of the carbs and some messing around with it. Now it runs like a champ. Problem is, when I took that lower unit off to change the impeller pump, Gregory's up there going, oh. So now we have only forward gears.
Oh boy.
And we didn't know this. We was at the lake. My son Tim started the boat up because we trolled around for 4 hours on trolling motor. And finally, Tim's like, well, let's go back to the boat ramp. Starts it up, and it just takes off. We thought we was in neutral. I'm rolling back in my wheelchair, grabbing for the wheel. He's grabbing for the wheel. We're trying to turn this thing as fast as we could. We missed the front nose by maybe a few inches off the dam, and it's a big old nasty rock dam. The back prop, as it swings around, the back of the boat swings around, and it settles back in from trying to take off. It goes dunk, 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 dunk across the rock. So we was that close. It just started to prop a little bit, no big damage or nothing. But I was like, finally, I found a guy that he has whole new controls, because also I think one of the rivets in there kind of broke or something, with the shifting stuff. They're kind of complicated in there with all them things, y'all know. So he got me new control and some new cables, and I'll have them on this week. I was going to have them on last week, but that heat came back through and it got 100 again. And yeah, I found out that I don't like anything above 85 since the heart attack.
It's me. I don't like anything above 80.
I see why you fish at night now. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to have to start changing my sleeping habits.
Yeah. Telling you, them 80-degree days are bad. I used to work out in the heat and the cold and stuff, and it never really bothered me. And then the older I got and some health stuff that happened, it really does. I'm really hypersensitive to it. So it is what it is.
The health issues is the biggest problem.
Yep.
We all get old. We all start experiencing some get worse, some get better. So I just, I've always been a guy. I do what I can with what I got. So
100%. If you forget how to struggle, you can't struggle anymore. So you got to keep doing it.
Yeah. If you have too much good time, if you have too much good times and you don't, like you said, if you're not having that struggle, you're not living.
That's right. Josh over at the Weekend Angler says, put the controls in reverse, put the lower unit into reverse, splines will line up, no problem.
Well, see, they told me to put it all the way forward and turn the control all the way forward. So one way, but it doesn't matter now because I'm putting a whole new control box in there, but I still have to drop that lower unit back down. So I have to wait until I get all that stuff ran in there and the cables ran. I just got to know which one's which cable.
There's got to be a manual or something you can pick up on eBay or something like that for that motor. Usually you can pick one up. I highly recommend everybody have a motor or a manual for your engine if you're going to work on it, though. So
I've been looking for one. Mine's a mid-80s 90-horse Merc, the inline 6. So there's I think there's 8 or 9 codes for that year. There's a EE, an ME, a SE, all kinds of weird stuff.
I bet you any one of those manuals would cover all of those. So for the most part, let me say hello to a couple of people that came in here a little late. We got River Boss fishing in the house. I saw, who else did I see come in here? I saw Aaron come in here. I saw Benoit. I think I said hello to Benoit. She says that they talked to Spencer quite a bit. Very cool. There's there's Chad. What's going on, Chad? How you doing, bud? There's Aaron. I think we got Nubbies catfishing. If I didn't get you earlier, Nubbies, hello. I think I did, though. And there's Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. Him and Robert got onto a couple of nice flatheads last week. There's downtown Ernie Brown. What's going on, Ernie? How you doing, bud? Dale Hayslip just popped in here, too. What's going on, Dale? So
Yeah, my biggest flathead for the year is this big.
I saw that, but it's
Yeah,
still
really,
fun to
just
catch.
over
I
and
don't.
over and over.
It's still fun to catch 100%. So, have you been getting out and doing some fishing? I know you've been keeping busy in the shop, which we'll
It
talk
is,
about later, but
it is awful here. Our water at our local lake. Okay, so our local lake is like 11 or 12,000 acres normally. It's at 5,000 acres now, and it's 7.5 feet low, and it's only 36 feet deep at at full level. So it's not a very. I mean, it's literally a third low almost. Well, quarter low. I guess it'd be a quarter low. It's a quarter low. So that, I mean, it's just decimating us. There's only one boat ramp open. And when you go out, you got to like zigzag to miss all the sandbars. And if you ain't got electronics, you're just playing the lottery.
well, at least they're sandbars and not rock piles. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is a clay bottom lake. So, like hard clay. Like some of it's where you could pick it up and mold it, but some of it's like a brick. So, and all chatted out and in sheets, and we have both red and gray. So,
Do you guys have any wake boats out there normally?
yeah, there during the like during the summertime and stuff, there's people out there skiing and doing all that crazy stuff, and there's people doing the jumps on the board, with the little short boards or whatever they're called. I guess those are the wakeboards or whatever. They're just nuts. But the jet skiers are the biggest problem on that lake, because it's Wichita is right by it, and so Wichita is 350,000 people. And so you get all kinds of jet skiers out there, and half of them are drunk, they don't watch out. So I've decided that I'm taking the whole double hook orange theme, and I'm just painting the side of the boat, the stripes and stuff. I'm gonna paint them all orange and cover them up.
Do you think they'll ever have an open season on jet skiers?
Oh, I wished. I'll tell you what, I got an 8-ounce weight mold for a reason. I'm just going to have a rod with an 8-ounce weight on it.
I know the guys up north in them big lakes talk about them wake boats that the prop actually shoves the water down and tears up the bottom of
Well,
it.
they do. They'll make a 4-foot weight.
They cannot be any more aggravating than somebody on a jet ski playing games.
They'll only be moving like 10, 12 mile an hour, and they're putting off a 4-foot wave.
Yeah, they have ballasts in those boats that they purposely fill up to squat the rear end of the boat down, and then they got flaps that go over the props just to make those.
You watch those waves. Boats when they get in the water, they set high, and then as they go out, they just start going like this.
Back in the day when we used to have horses, I used to tell people that have Arabians have a big old dish in their head, and they're all crazy. And I said, that dish in that Arabian's head is where the brain is supposed to be. That's kind of like people with jet skis. That seat spot, that's where the brain should be.
Well, there was a group here that was trying to pass a law to where the jet skiers had to stay within so much of the bank. They couldn't get out into open water because they were getting into open water and running 70, 80 miles an hour. And then they'd go to get close to a boat. And if you guys haven't never been on a jet ski only turns under power. So they shut that down and expect to try to turn, and they just keep going straight but sideways.
Yeah, I shared a video with Lyle. I also posted it on my Facebook page. People, if you're interested to check that out, it talks all about those surf boats, the wake surf boats, and how damaging they are to the environment. Not just the shorelines, but the bottom of the river. And
they tear it all up.
No,
they go by. After they go by, you can see 2 foot down, maybe here. You're lucky. Most of the time it's maybe, foot and a half. But when they go by and then you go through where they went by, you can't see 3 inches in the water because it's all silted up.
They showed that from drone shots and stuff, how bad they silted up. It's pretty interesting stuff. So,
yeah, it's a great video.
Danny Stone Outdoors. What's going on, Danny? How you doing? I don't remember if I said hello to Dale, so I'll say it again. What's up, Dale? There's Pontoon Jody Catfishing. She says some of my favorite people on one screen. I think she's talking about you two guys. Catfish Cowboy in the house.
Appreciate it, Jody.
What's going on, Cowboy? How you doing? Kind of scrolling through here.
Yeah, Danny's pretty stoked. He got a hold of a couple rod holders this last week.
Nice. Very
A couple
cool.
more, I should say.
Yeah, Danny loves that bank fishing. I think he's afraid of boats, to be honest with you, but that could be wrong. Bugman
I seen
says,
him on a boat once or twice, and he kind of seems like well, I mean, he's short, but he sits down in there a little bit lower.
Danny?
Yeah.
got to keep that center of gravity low so you don't fall out of the boat 100%. Especially if you got them wake boats out there. Kind of scrolling through chat here, so Aaron says black and orange would be good colors. I'm guessing he means for your boat.
Yeah. Well, so I don't even remember what the name of my boat is. It's like it's a GIN something, or I can't even remember now, but I'm going to take all that where they have their fancy stripes, that widen out or whatever on the side. I'm going to get the heat gun and I'm going to take all that vinyl off, and where the stain is at. So I'm going to clean it all up, get rid of the grease and with glue and all that. And I'm going to just take and paint it orange where the stripes were at, because it's oxidized. You can see where it's at. So just use it as a pattern. Gregory wants me to paint more fish inside. So you see my console where they have the fish on the console.
Mm-hmm.
Gregory wants fish like that all the way around the inside. So if we ever go fishing at night, we'll have it under black light. You'll see all them fish.
Very cool. Yeah, I've been considering getting black lights for the boat. I just can't decide where to mount them. So
they got some good ones now that are just little squares, and they got some that have double lights in the middle and some with single lights in the middle, and they're getting pretty reasonable. The ones I seen were like $35, $40.
Yeah, I think I've seen them,
and they're
today.
rechargeable too. So
I think I've seen them today at Tackle Bandit on Facebook. I saw some sites for them. It's not so much it. I got some lights. It's just finding a spot to mount them in my boat.
Yeah.
I think overhead would work better. Only reason I would get them is so people can see my rods during live streams a little more.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Matt? How you doing, bud?
So hopefully I have our boat done in the next few weeks. The guy that's going to fix my trolling motor for me, he's on vacation and he won't be back for another week and a half or so. But he said he'd be able to hook me up and get my trolling motor going again.
This kind of warms my heart here. Pontoon Jody says, I saw a woman grind the prop on a wake boat on a concrete ramp. Her husband was not happy. He should have taught her what to do and what not to do when launching. Oh, I can hear that just reading that, Lyle.
I can feel it. It lightens my wallet.
You know that Cabela's and teaches people how to launch your boat or do the electronics and stuff. You just have to talk to them about it, and then they have classes for all that. I didn't know that until today. I told the guy, I was like, I want to sign up for the electronics class because I have no clue. I got a Garmin side sonar, and the only thing I can do is look down. I don't know how to make it go sideways or do all that stuff.
They'll show you what to do. If you got any questions, shoot me a message. I can help you walk through it. It isn't.
One of these days, I may just have to get you online or get you on there where we could. I'll be like, "What's this?"
You wouldn't be the first one that's done that. Danny Stone says, saw a video the other day, 2 idiots on a jet ski running in front of a barge. Now that's.
Oh yeah.
Not unusual. Not unusual.
I do like when I see them guys with the John boats that put the jet ski motors in them. Those seem like they'd be kind of fun in the shallows here on the river.
I seen a guy that was on a probably a 14-foot, 16-foot John boat. It looked like it was fairly, wide, one of the bigger ones, and he had one of the twist handle motors on the back, and he tried to cut a barge off, and the barge just ran him over. And then they had the part of the video was, it turned out to be a news article where they were looking for the dude afterwards for 2 days.
Oh man. Well,
I have a theory that if they would take the jet skis and make them go to a lake that I don't fish, say Grand Lake of the Cherokees in Oklahoma, I have no intentions of fishing there. That'd be a good spot for them. They can do whatever they want to on that lake, leave the rest of the lakes.
I think that they should at least do something to where they got to make it to where they have to be on a certain size lake or stay to a certain, part of the lake or something like that.
That's going to happen about as much as them going.
Well, here's going to be the biggest problem I think about those jet skiers. Do you know that 3 years ago, jet ski sales went through the roof along with boat sales? All that stuff's going to be coming up here real soon.
I tell you what the problem with a lot of that jet skis is these parents do not have any control over their kids. They let them run wild, and they do whatever they want to. And
parents buy a jet ski, and there it is.
The biggest issue we have with jet skis. The older folks usually don't bother you too bad, but you give a kid that's not old enough to drive, has no license or nothing, and turn him loose on something that'll run 70 or 80 mile an hour, and that's what happens. Because they don't think you can catch them, although I have caught them in some of the boats I had in the past. And to see their dads run down to the boat ramp as hard as he can because he knows that kid's getting ready to get his ass whooped is pretty damn funny.
Well, about 5 weeks ago here, a couple of young ladies were on Dad's jet ski, and they did just that. And unfortunately, they had a wreck, and they didn't make it. So they were on Dad's, 80-mile-an-hour jet ski, and they didn't know how to use it or respect it, and they smashed into another boat in the middle of Grass Lake here, which is a pretty big lake. And I think it was Grass, maybe it was Fox Lake, I don't know, but they did not make it. What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing, Creo?
Jeremy says a coworker of his just got back from a vacation at Lake the Ozarks. He said the scenery was amazing. You're liable to see anything there, I promise.
Josh says, Danny isn't that short. He looks short in my boat because his peach puckers every time I open it up. And Danny concurs. He says, I'm only scared if Dunnigan is driving. I know
I can relate. Josh also says slippery slope. Start making laws saying jet skis can only use part of the lake next to lakefront property owners. Make similar laws for fishermen. Funded lakes, and everyone has the right to use. That's correct. That is correct.
So where do you start? Where do you stop?
The thing is, if you pull one of them over and overhaul him, they should never give you a ticket or say a foul word to you, because the reason he got that throttling because he was an idiot.
Yeah, only if we could go back to the 70s and 80s.
I would say 1800s, but whatever.
Didn't they used to pull barges by horses alongside the canals back then, Lyle?
I do not know.
I believe they did.
I don't know. I know
going upstream they did.
I know they had. I seen pictures where them guys have got things that go across ferries that took them across on ropes and stuff, which I find that entertaining. But I don't know about the other. I have not seen that, but wouldn't surprise me. Shut up, Josh.
What's Josh saying?
The rest of us went around in 1800.
Ryan says, I've totaled a jet ski big sea ray. I've totaled a jet ski. Big sea ray boat hit a sandbar low tide in Florida, peeled the runner in half on the swim deck seat off the motor compartment. Wow. Told me to stay close to him. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the closest we've ever had any problems with the jet skiers when they tried to run me and the boys over when we were in our kayaks. We were in the river, and the river was flooded, so there was 4 foot of water in the river. I know that sounds funny saying it was flooded, only 4 foot, but the river was flooded, and there was 4 foot of water in the river, so they were able to go up the river, and they about ran me and Gregory and Tim over. And I chewed them out, and the one guy came back, and of course they're on their jet skis, so they want to be all trying to spray you and stuff, and we're already wet, so
Yeah.
Jody says she's tried black light. She likes her setup better. That's good to know.
What has she got?
I think she's just got a Compex light in the back of the boat, if I'm not mistaken. So,
See, when we used to fish back in the day, we would use the green light, but it was just so we could see without putting glare into the water, and not shining our lantern in the water and stuff like that. But we always struggled to see our rods, or we would paint them white or glow in the dark, and something like that.
yeah, that compact light works pretty good. I'm having a hard time with my one battery pack, my Blue Eddy that I have. It just doesn't have enough amp hours to run it all night. So it's either run it on low or get a bigger unit. And it's a lot cheaper to run it on low all night. So it is what it is.
I guess I really haven't been showing what I've been doing.
Yeah, David's tying some jigs. Look at that, black and pink. That's good color. Got a little sparkle in there too.
Yeah, and the chenille. The chenille's got it. I couldn't find any straight black chenille that I like, so the black chenille that I got's got silver in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and silver goes about with anything. So
it does. It definitely will help.
These are for Ernest River Rat 3030.
Oh, nice. Pink and black I've always done pretty well with. Solid pink, not so well. Pink and black I do pretty good with.
Yeah, I don't do so good with solid pink.
Yeah, but chartreuse and black works really well for me here too. So
I think anything that light head, light tail, black body.
Okay.
Any color goes with the black body. So whatever you like. And then, you can switch that up to black tail, black head, and light body. But I did bring in one of my rod holders if you guys want to see that.
Sure, we'll definitely get that.
Here's one I kind of painted up.
Let me give you a solo layout.
It looks blue, but that's purple. So
very cool. Looks a lot different than the ones that you see everybody else doing. So that's cool. I definitely like those. Did you paint those yourself?
Yeah, it's just Rust-Oleum.
Yeah, and if people want to get one of them, how do they do that?
Just going to have to message me. I started to set. I've got a domain and stuff, so we have doublehookangling.com, but we don't have on the shop page. It just takes you to my email, so which is just doublehookangling@gmail. So, or just get a hold of me on Facebook. If I like you well enough, then we'll work something out.
Well, that leaves me out.
Now I was charging for painting them and stuff, but it seems like everybody wants them painted. Nobody wants them raw. So I just set a set price. So, and right now I'm kind of doing, if you get two of them, I'm doing mailed to you for $55, and then each additional one's $15.
Oh, there you go. What you doing, Lyle?
I was looking for. I've got somewhere I have pictures of my boat with the light set up on it and in the dark. And I promise you'll never see anything any brighter.
Here's the one that I made for the boat. Same thing. It just has a threaded.
Hell for stout.
Yeah, they do look very stout, and I like that orange too. I'm pretty fond of the orange.
Yeah. This one's actually Gregory's. It's going to go on the front of our pontoon boat. So we'll have two on one side, one corner, and two on the other. But these are perfect for, especially if you're like on the front of the boat doing like crappieing. So if you're like spider rigging for crappie and stuff, you can have it like this. Of course, this handle ain't long enough to get clear up underneath there being my little ice rig. But
you do a lot. Have you done a lot of spider rigging in the past?
With my old boats back in the day, so like when I was walking and stuff, so we're talking 12, 13 years, 14 years ago was the last time I did any spider rigging. I haven't done anything since, and we didn't use electronics back then. We just did it until if the pole kept going, it wasn't a fish, it was a tree.
Uh-huh.
So, But we used to love to do that off of our. We had a little open front boat, and we just do that off of that.
You can cover a lot of water with doing spider rigging, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or long
Well,
line.
and like now the way I've got it set up now is like all my crappie rods, all my jigging poles, they're all catch the fever rods. So I mean, I'm just a fan of that. They don't sponsor me or nothing like that. It's just I really like that rod. So I put the 210s out front, and then off to the sides I'll put the 12 or 14 off facing out. I know the 10 seem like it's awful front to the front of the boat, but I don't know, that's my preference. I know some guys that they like the longer 14s out front and the 10s off to the side. So I don't know. I think it's just what you like. I know some guys that run all 10s.
Yeah, I've seen the guy from Crappie Connection. He runs 16s, 14s, and 10s, I believe, off his boat.
Yeah.
They're all like
I've seen guys run 20-foot rods.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, how you gonna you gotta let out so much? Being sitting there going like this, letting line out so you can reach the fish.
I got a long crappie net too,
but your buddy and smack him with it. Say, here, take that off.
I don't need rods that long for my boat to do that. I actually picked up a set of those little 4-inch planer boards from Offshore Tackle. We were going to try and give them a try. Actually, we did try them once when we were out on Mendota this year. We were dragging baits and stuff, and we got a couple of smallmouth and a couple of crappie with them. So they do work. So I mean, I'll get baits out too.
Have you used the any of the planer boards for catfishing or anything?
Oh yeah, I've dragged baits in the past. Not with well, it depends. Around here, the hotter the temperatures are, the hotter the water is, the better I do. I've been, contemplating dragging baits for flatheads at night, but the problem is when you're live streaming, that bright white screen, or at least it used to be bright white, would blind you pretty bad and you couldn't see where you were going. So I think I might have figured out how to mitigate that for the next time. So we may try this next week before it gets too cold out there. I think we got 3 more weeks of chasing flatheads. That's if I don't go up and get some salmon. So
you mostly river fish, right?
Yeah, I stay on the river. Try to avoid the $20 and $25 launch fees up on the chain. So the river, I got a marina that helps me out and sponsors me. So those launches are free, which is the right price as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, you got to pay to launch?
Yeah, it's like $25. One place is $30 on the weekends over here just for one time.
I never heard of any place charging for launching.
Well,
it's free.
Well, you mentioned you had 400,000 people in Wichita, right?
Yeah.
We got 400,000 people in my little suburb right here, and we're one of 30
true.
around the area. So that's it. When they can make $1, it does. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that use their stuff and whatever.
Yeah, so, see, I never heard
in our town in Wichita, they have paid parking. Like you got to put parking in the meter and stuff, but that's only in downtown, like the strict downtown, only in that area. And if you're handicap tag or whatever, you don't have to pay to park.
Well, there you go.
In any meter if you're handicapped. So that is a plus.
Let's see what Danny says. Danny says, those rod holders held fast against my 88-pound blue, and that thing was pulling.
Yeah. Yeah, so far Danny's got the record, 88-pound blue. It was like I was pretty stoked to hear about it, and then I told him that he's got the record right now, so until somebody beats him. I don't think around here I'm going to catch anything that big from the bank. So
yeah, me either. Even on my boat, I ain't going to catch anything that big around here, though. But
because he caught that in the Missouri River, didn't he?
I'm not quite sure.
Mississippi. Yeah. And Lyle, you fish the lake, don't you? You don't fish rivers, do you?
I haven't fished any of the rivers in a few years, but I used to fish them a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fish mostly lakes now. If I live closer to them, if I lived close to the Mississippi or the Missouri River, where I didn't have to drive long distance, I'd be on them every day that I felt like it.
Yeah. I think that if I lived close enough to a big river, I'd probably go fish it. But right now, like I said, my lake that's close to me and it's only 23 miles, and that thing's just low. But if I can go to some of the bigger lakes, but they're like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And, I worry enough about traveling as it is.
Mhm.
I'm probably, I don't know. I freaked out about going to CADCon, being that far away. I was wondering if, it was going to break down, or, I over worried, and I don't know why. It just, with Gregory and Naomi and me, it was just something. And I don't know. I like to stay close to home.
You and I'm the same way. I like to stay close to home, which is why I stay on this little river over here. I understand one. And 2 hours there and 2 hours back, that's 4 hours for fishing time as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah. Well, and we have all of these good spots around here that for one thing, Gregory is really comfortable with. So Gregory has just been now recently in the since we went to CatCon last year and he started to meet everybody and stuff, he's been actually going into people's lives and chatting in the chat and stuff.
I saw
Which
that.
is like, for him, that was like, that was like a whole, hallelujah moment. And it was just, we didn't ever think he would talk to anybody outside the household. And then when, even though he's not saying words, he's still, writing them. So that, that right there, just, it's great.
Speaking of people that don't talk and chat too much, I want to make sure that Chad passes this on to Dee. Happy birthday, Dee. Today's Dee's birthday. She turns 29 this year, I believe, Lyle. Wouldn't you agree with that statement?
There's something like that.
Something like that. Well,
Yeah.
happy birthday, Dee, if you're listening. So
I'm not going to say anything otherwise.
Smart man. Pinoy Fishing Outdoors has a statement here. She says the drought is so bad this year. There are 22 counties across Ohio declared natural disasters as of today. They're telling farmers to apply for loans. Record drought lows since 1930 and 1933. That's pretty scary. That'll do to the price of food, gentlemen, right?
Oh, yeah. We all just need to go back to growing our own. It's the only way we're going to be able to survive if this keeps up.
And Creel says rivers are really low down here too. Already 2 of my local boat ramps are unusable.
Yeah. Out of like I said, at our lake, I think there's 6 boat ramps at our lake. Because, not a big lake, but there's only one open right now. And as you go out, you got to go. They gave warnings on the news and everything else, and they was talking about shutting the lake down to where you can't even go do recreational, because they're trying to say that lake on a 100-degree day loses 4 inches of water in one day. So, and then it's only gaining 3 inches of water in a day, so it's losing an inch a day. Well, in 30 days, it's still 2.5 feet. So if this keeps up, we ain't gonna have no water. And they're like the boats splashing and all that stuff. That's adding to it. And I was like, the biggest thing that I would think was they just shut down taking the water supply from that lake and start pulling from the wells more.
Yeah.
400,000 people need water.
This is true. You never know what they got to water their lawns too. That's one of the problems. But
yeah,
we won't get into that.
And they're just now starting to talk about water restrictions on lawns. Well, this has been going on for 2 years. Why didn't we do this last year? Why didn't they water restrict last year to save it?
The car washers are shut down.
It's political. It's all political. Oh, well, we can't shut that off. We won't make no money.
Did they shut down the car wash?
Nope.
There you go.
With the 3 of us up here, this could be dangerous. We could get banned for life from somewhere.
Oh, we could get in trouble because, yeah. I know we all got about the same attitude when it comes to the BS that's going on right now.
I think so. That's why we're going to reel it in here, folks. We're going to do like that.
Yeah.
Man. Reel it in. Here we go. Creel Catfishing says, I'm spoiled rotten. I live 20 minutes from 2 of the biggest rivers in the country. I am jealous.
He's not close to the Missouri.
Well, I do have to say that my boy got a new job. My son Tim, he is a EMT firefighter, so he got a new job, and so he doesn't work he still works here in Kingman as part time, but he started a new job down in Wellington. Well, he's like, hey Dad, there's a lake down here. I was like, oh yeah, I fished that years ago. It wasn't no good then and stuff. He's like, Dad, they rebuilt the lake and it's 3 times bigger. I was like, so I Googled it and looked it up and everything. They had the original dam. Well, they built a whole extra lake and, added, I mean, it's like 20 foot deep in the new section. And they just made a hole about 40 foot wide in the old dam. So now you just go through it and you're into the new lake. So we go down there and come to find out it's a flathead lake. Like the limit, most of our lakes in Kansas, you get 2 flathead and they have to be 30 inches to keep. Well, down there, you can keep 5 in a day, and they don't care how big they are. So.
Well, you bring up an interesting point.
I'm not going to keep them, but what I'm saying is if they're allowing you to keep 5 in a day, that lake has a lot of flatheads.
A lot of them. Yeah, 100%.
But they said that like the average is 3 to 8 pounds, but there's plenty of 40s. So guess where Dave's been trying to get to go more often? It's just an hour away.
You have to figure, though, they're figuring part of them people ain't never going to catch one.
Yeah. Well, most of those guys that go down there fishing, they're fishing for the sauger because they have sawguy walleye hybrids called sauger, and they put 20,000 in that lake in the last few years. So it's just loaded up with 17 to 20 inch fish, and sauger tastes just like walleye. So everybody's been fishing it for that. And nobody's been like, I've seen a few pictures of flatheads and stuff from there, but you ask the bait shop that's there and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, a few guys come for the catfish, but everybody comes for the sauger. So Dave's got some plans, and we got that boat on the water down there one time. And that's where I did the video where, hey, it's running. So, but we're going to go back. We seen on our sonar, we seen some fish that are as big as my leg. And I'm fat, so I got a big leg.
Me too. I can relate. I need to catch one the size of my leg, and I'll be a happy man. That's for sure. A lot. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. The fox here, we have a limit. We have a slot. We have 2 under. I think it's. Don't quote me. I'm Ryan and Chad would probably correct me. I think it's because I never keep them, so I don't bother knowing it. I think it's 2 under 24 and 1 over 28, maybe, or something like that. Like I said, I don't keep them, so I don't know. But a lot of lakes in this country, they don't have flat, or rivers don't have flathead.
Yeah.
The fact that they even have it shows that at least they're putting a little thought into the fish's conservation, which that's good to hear. So,
well, yeah, because they've talked about, like, a couple of our lakes, they've talked about making it 1 flathead per day just because the flatheads are declining. Well, I told a buddy of mine, I was talking to him, he's a fish and game biologist here in Kansas. He thinks that the reason why the flathead are declining is because we legalized noodling a few years ago. A few years ago, we legalized noodling again. Well, the amount of tags because you have to get a tag to noodle now.
Okay.
You're allowed 2 fish. Well, you're supposed to be the only one touching the fish. Now, tell me how a 6-year-old fills their tag with a 70-pound fish. Is that 6-year-old pulling that 70-pound fish? No.
It's like the 6-year-old that shoots that 300 class deer.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not. I don't know. I know a lot of people are in favor of noodling and all that, and everybody has their own opinion. But to me, fishing's with a fishing pole.
Missouri tried that for 1 year.
They canceled it, didn't they?
It was devastating on flathead population.
Well, I know there's a family here in town, and they're a little bit of a rougher family, and so they're well known in town, especially with the local law and stuff. Well, they went out, and in one day they got 16 flatheads over 50 pounds in a 2-mile stretch of river that was only a foot deep. And their excuse was, well, we went ahead and took them because they weren't going to get out of that 1 foot deep river. And I said, if there's 6 inches of water, a 50-pound fish will swim through it.
Oh yeah.
I said, you'll hear him splashing like mad, but he'll get through it.
You won't even hear him splashing, Dave. You know, when I was a bank fisherman for the longest time, I remember being here at Algonquin Dam at like 3 a.m. Me and the guy I used to fish with sitting on our lawn chairs, and right under our lines in about 10 inches of water, a biggest flathead I've seen to date back then.
And you couldn't even hear him, huh?
Couldn't even hear him, just like bulldozing right through that shallow water on his way over to the dam.
They're pretty quiet.
I think that has decimated our population here. But you know, the good thing is our rivers have been so low the last couple of years. This year, I haven't seen any pictures of noodling.
That's because the water's so low. The places they usually go to get them's out of the water.
Yep.
Yeah, probably
where they went to.
all their beds they've used year after year.
And the tractor tires that they put in places for them to spawn in,
or
and
bathtubs, or drums,
all kinds of stuff they dump off in there so the fish can use them and they know exactly where they're at.
When Cheney Lake started to go low, the fish and game officers, they went out there with trailers and they started picking up all the pallets and, you know, everything that people had put out and spots and stuff and clean all that stuff up.
Schmieder of the Cedars is asking you, David, have you ever had a chance to fish Lake Melbourne to your east? I've hunted some around it and it looks good.
No, I have not. No, I haven't fished anything for the last, probably, like I said, 13, 14 years, except for, you know, within maybe 50 miles of me.
Girl Catfish says the Louisiana DNR is now considering removing the bag limit and minimum size restrictions on the bull and blacktip sharks. It's about to be on like Donkey Kong.
Did you hear that the NPFL, the Fishing League or whatever, the tournament, they banned live scope yesterday.
They did, and listen to this. I just read that Bassmasters, they set a maximum of one front-facing sonar transducer on a boat and only 55 inches of screen allowed per angler or per boat.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were boating two.
I can't remember what state, but one of the states is actually wanting to outlaw live scope on public waters because they say that too many people are taking too many fish because of it. It's actually turned too many people into good fishermen.
That was Wisconsin. That was Wisconsin, and they shot that down.
Did they? I don't see how they could ban it on public waters, but now in tournaments I can't. I mean, tournaments are private organizations; they can do what they want. So
yep. They banned it to that, and they also said only one trolling motor on a boat. So I don't know how that's going to affect the bass guys. I didn't know they had multiple.
Well, the crappie guys now. These crappie guys are doing what they call crappie stops.
Yep.
And that's two trolling motors on the back, and they'll stop that boat from 10 miles an hour to dead stop in like 5 feet.
Yep. I didn't realize the bass guys were using those, but they probably are. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, I've seen around here more of the crappie guys are using them because they can get to those brush piles fast, get up on those brush piles, hit that, stop instantly, hit that brush pile for 2 or 3 minutes, pull out a couple trophy crappie, then move on to the next. But our crappie tournaments here, they've gotten pretty crazy. You know, we got guys shoving weights and crappie and stuff.
Are they doing that too?
Oh yeah, we had a big case here in Kansas. The guys lost their boat, they lost their truck, they lost all their fishing gear. Something about one of the guys is even possibly losing his house. All because of getting caught with shoving crop. I mean, it's fraud, plain and simple.
That's right.
I mean, I think they should go to jail.
Absolutely. You should not pass go, collect $200, none of that crap. Directly to jail.
It's just wild. I mean, how can you? I don't know. I guess you got to have something wrong in your heart to begin with to want to cheat.
Well, you know, if you cheat in NASCAR and get caught, you get in a lot of trouble, don't you, Lyle?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You don't have to be in the big part of NASCAR either. You can be on local dirt tracks. The fines sting just as much.
Yes, they do.
But if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning.
I was just going to say that next.
That's just the way it is.
My granddad raced dirt track for years and years and years. And at Sun Valley up in Hutch, he come off turn 3, and then I think this was in like 70s, in the 70s. I can't remember what year now, but he come off turn 3 and ended up 20 feet up into the tree. And that's when they built the fence around the track after that. He spent 3 weeks in the hospital, broke like 5 bones in his like neck and his collar and stuff. I think they just kept you in the hospital back then just to keep an eye on you.
They're just trying to figure out how you got to be that crazy.
Yeah, I had a major heart attack, died for a little bit, come back, and they kicked me out in 2 days. Say, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get in your wheelchair.
They didn't even help you in it?
No, she's like, get in your wheelchair. I got out of the bed, got my wheelchair. Of course, I was happy getting my wheelchair.
Heck yeah.
She's like, do you want me to push you down? And so I was like,
no.
are you going to enforce your policy? She's like, no, it's your own wheelchair. You ain't got no handles. So she's like, you want me to push you or not? I said, no, please, because you'll make me car sick. So I just wheeled myself out. Then she kept telling me to slow down.
I'm in a hurry to get the hell out of here, lady.
Then when I got out into the parking lot and realized that my mother-in-law was driving, I was like, took me a minute to get in the car.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So if anybody's got any questions in chat, now's the time to ask them. We'll definitely pass them on to David. David, your channel, Double Hook Angling. I just teased you.
That's right.
Double Hook Angling. We got a hook down in got a link down in the you see, I've been doing this for so long.
It's funny.
I don't even look
Mark.
at the names.
You come into my live quite a bit, and you still
What's the name of it? What time do you start on Friday mornings, Dave?
8:05 Central.
8:05 Central. God's time.
Yeah, and I'm back. I was gone for a while, like I said, the heart attack. I'd had to take some time for myself and the family and make sure I was going to stay around and, kind of say sorry to my wife for eating so much bacon or whatever they think caused it. So I'm here. I plan on staying. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And, hopefully I'll just keep getting better.
That's right.
Yeah,
been able to actually work in the shop and do things like that. So
yeah, them wives get mad at you for almost dying rather than give you sympathy. It's kind of funny how that works, ain't it?
Yeah, she was mad at me. I come home and she's like, don't you ever do that again. Because the scary thing is when it happened, I realized what was happening and I couldn't say nothing. I was like, I couldn't speak. It was like, the pain was so bad and it went through my armpit and then it went up into my jaw and my jaw just kind of locked up. I think I was maybe even having a seizure or something to the effect that I was out of oxygen or whatever. And because I was like, I felt like I was drunk. I felt like I had 3 shots of whiskey and a couple beers to chase it. So it was awful. And I went into the kitchen. I wheeled myself into the kitchen, and as my arm is numb, and I grabbed Naomi's shirt and I pulled on her, and I kind of looked at her, and I remember shaking my head, and then her going, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And I just kind of grabbed my chest, and she just started crying and called 911 and had them come and pick me up, and they freaked out, and they're friends of mine too because of my son, being an EMT.
Uh-huh.
So they put a 4-lead on me, and she said a few choice words, and she ripped that off. And, after she put the 12-lead on, she said, "We're taking you in right now." They ran hot all the way to Wichita. So What does it say? What,
Joshua has a question for you. He says, what got you started in tying jigs?
When I was a little kid, my aunt and uncle had a bait shop, and I bought a little tying set that they had there at the bait shop. And I actually still have the box from that. So this is like, 30 some, 38 some odd years old, but here's the box that kit came in. And so I tied that up, or started tying in, and the first thing I used was we had this poodle schnauzer mix, and my mom was cutting him. And I said, hey, I want some of that. So I went and cut some off myself, and, because I wanted to keep it straight. I didn't want it, of course, it didn't stay that way. And I ended up tying quite a few jigs out of it. And, I think I was probably 13 years old, 12 years old, maybe. I don't know. It might have been a little younger, but I don't remember. It was in that era, between 12 and 14. So it was good times. And the good thing is the river was 5 miles away on a bike ride for a kid my age then. That was nothing, and it was the Brazos River because we lived in Texas. So it was a real river, wide and deep.
Wide and deep. Jeremy at Creole Catfishing said, how mad they get may be relative to the size of your life insurance policy.
Well, there ain't none. So they're on their own. I don't mean to say that, but my wife is, put it this way, my wife has got enough inheritance that she'll be just fine. So,
there you go.
Not from me, but from her mama.
So, folks, make sure you go and sub over to Dave over at Double Hook Angling every Friday morning. Have coffee and jigs with him at 8:05. You said, or 8:15?
8:05.
8:05 in the morning.
The kids go to the thrift store. It's about 7:45, so it gives me and Naomi about 20 minutes for a cup of coffee and a final what to say, or what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do for the show, and that kind of thing. I run it by her what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna tie, or if I got anything to tie. Sometimes I scramble for jigs. I've been tying some what do they call those, Lindy rigs, walleye rigs.
I saw those. Yep.
I've been tying up a bunch of them lately, and now I got a guy that he wants, like 25 of them in different colors. So I just, had to throw him out a price, and he is good with it. So I'm good with it.
Very cool. And if they want to buy those jigs, they can get in touch with you during your show or contact you on Facebook or through your channel page. I believe your email will be on there, if I'm not mistaken, David, right?
Yeah. And Double Hook Angling is it's an email with Gmail, and then Facebook group if you're interested in that, and then of course my YouTube channel. We're not real big, 1,100 or so subscribers. Working on it. Heart attack took I've got 6 months that this last 5 months or whatever it's been since my heart attack has just been kind of where's Dave, but I'm back.
Well, Dave, you got a big heart. That's all that matters. So
that's right.
I still got to put that fly reel you sent me to use. I ain't gonna lie,
dude. I'm telling you, you still have not got a reel or a rod for that thing, have you?
No, I think that's what's going to have to come for Christmas time. Been so busy. I apologize. I'm sorry. Also, I'm kind of afraid once I get started, I go down that rabbit hole. Lyle's going to talk me into buying all sorts of stuff.
Just get out the credit card, Mark. I'll help you spend that money.
On that,
I'm going to tell you right now, I like Redington as far as for fly rods. I like Redington. And right now they're on sale.
If I was to buy one, of course I build mine, but if I was to buy one, I like Sages really well. But you got to knock a lot of dust off that wall to have one of them.
Do you know that Redington are Sage blanks?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like Redington, because they're half the price. You can buy a rod, a reel, and the case for $200 for rod, reel, and case. And it's actually a very good, nice. It's not one of the cheaper ones. It's a nice rod.
Did you guys miss where I said I got to take my wife on vacation this December? So stop it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help you save a little money.
That's right.
You're gonna have
So
to
you
sell a
can
lot
take
more
her out to
whiskers.
dinner, and you can eat crackers and Vienna weenies.
There you go. That's Lyle. Lyle loves them things.
I think they're nasty, but I don't like bologna either.
Well, if you get tired of eating them, we always use them for catfish bait.
I'll ship them to you. Slow boat to China through the post office, Lyle.
I tried using them Vienna sausage one time on a sandwich, and then you know what? I opened it up and tried to use it for fish bait. They wouldn't stay on the hook neither.
I mentioned
special name for them things.
Like a few years back, I'd mentioned them in a live stream I was doing on my channel, and some subscriber sent me one of every flavor, and I think one of them was edible. That's about it.
Yeah, the only ones I can eat are the and certain brands that taste better than others.
Oh,
it's the texture that gets me.
It's almost like potted meat, but not as good.
It tastes like you should be eating the cake, but it tastes like nasty.
I just ate dinner before the show. You guys need to stop this right now. All right, David, thank you very much for coming on the show. We appreciate having
Thanks
you.
for having me, fellas.
Look at
that glare. Well, wait a minute.
I know.
Hey, I had to go and start growing my hair out now. So,
and you're how old?
Oh, I had it long back in the day. I was down to my butt one time. And then,
me too, but that was a long damn time ago.
But then when I got in the wheelchair, I kept pulling my hair on my chair.
Yeah.
So I cut it all off, and I've been short-haired since. And I don't know, since the heart attack, I was like, I ain't got time to go get a haircut. I want to do stuff.
All the money I save on shampoo, I should be able to afford that fly rod in no time. So.
Right? There you go.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
You're gonna have to get a fly rod.
We got a couple comments here.
Just go to a couple thrift stores, or keep your eye on Facebook. Heck, I could probably find one for $20.
I might have to find something like that. We'll get her done, David.
Yeah.
Joe Buck 66. Now we need to stop talking about Vienna wiener because the sausages. Because Joe Buck says, "Great show tonight, guys. I've been listening while eating supper. See what you did to him."
Nice.
Danny Stone says, "Dave is top notch. Great choice for guests, guys. Love it." I agree, Danny, 100%.
I do too. It was a great show and a lot of fun.
All right, everybody, have a great night. We will talk to everybody next week. We got Chad tomorrow. I believe there's another tournament going on this weekend, that Monster Hunt. We got Jody and Stan. Again, Chad tomorrow, Catfish Weekly on Monday, and then we do it all over again.
That's right.
Good night, everybody.